So as I promised, no presentations. I have a presentation, but it's only a couple of slides. And so what serendipity is McKinsey report just put out an interesting report where they have mapped all the various systems that are involved in the construction space. And there's thousands and thousands of firms out there developing software to streamline and to make construction more efficient. The trouble is, every one of these points becomes a data exchange point that still is quite often manual and it has to be rekeyed, creating huge inefficiencies in the construction space. But you notice there on the left-hand side, it all starts with the money. And so when you think about the money, that's where the construction always is focused. Because if you bring in the money, the people will do what is necessary to do it. So when you look at all of these different forms, they are all ultimately finding their way to the capital markets, to the banks, and the financing. So the tens of thousands of software companies that are working to provide services to the construction space, if we can provide them the data interoperability to ultimately feed through the system and get to the capital markets, to the banks, the insurance companies, then we can reduce the cost of doing business significantly, increasing efficiency, increasing risk control, and all of the things that make capital come to the market. So in particular, we have risk management, performance management, performance monitoring. They all come in to the capital markets. So the more we can make this efficient, the more we can actually create the data interoperability that really creates a smart grid. At the end of the day, it's demand and supply. And the demand is right here in the capital markets and the banks. When we say we want the data to get preferred pricing and terms, then the supply is here in the data standards and it's here in the software developers. So if we can help the supply, we can create the demand that ultimately allows us to herd the cats, that bring all of these players to be able to innovate on their own, but coordinate so that there's combined efficiency. So in this room literally is everybody we need, and that's all my presentation is. The objective today is not to overwhelm with technical deals, because the fact is this is not a technical challenge. As you see from all these data points, there's plenty of technology being addressed. Where the challenge is consensus. And consensus is the hard part. So if we can come up with ways to advance consensus, we will advance the development of interoperability, which creates a smart grid for us. So in today's meeting, it is purposely designed to be engaging. It is not meant to be speeches, so I'm not going to be talking long. Each one of you contribute to your own perspective on how this grid is going to be built out. And the goal is that after this meeting, having met the people in this room, that the personal connections will carry forward and allow the grid to be built by really the impact players. And we do have impact players here. So one of the people that I would like to introduce first is my friend Alfred Berkeley. I'll give his background only briefly to say